Today, we embark on a sacred exploration of the chakras, those vibrant energy centers that reside within our bodies, guiding our physical, emotional, and spiritual with greater purpose, joy, and inner peace. I am Betty Humlock, and I would like to introduce Robin Modafferi of Embracing Source. Welcome, Robin.
Hi, Betty. It's so good to be here with you again. I love this topic, this subject, chakras. I'm really excited to get into this with you.
Well, I know that there are many books written and philosophies about chakras, so I'm excited to hear what Spirit has led you to share. So, where would you like to begin?
Well, probably the beginning. You know, while we were preparing for these keys classes, I kept thinking to myself, what would be one of the most profound ways to introduce a key that would help bring us into greater connection with all of that, and at the same time open us to our most beautiful latent gifts, those gifts just lying in wait within each of us. So today I wanted to explore in depth the beautiful sacred relationship with the chakras that we have and are gifted with, those vibrant energy centers that reside within our bodies, guiding us emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So to begin with, I always like to imagine the chakras as being a radiant lotus flower, blooming with colors of the rainbow, each petal maybe representing a unique aspect of our existence. From the grounding energy of the root chakra to the transcendent wisdom of the crown. These energy centers are the keys to unlocking our true potential and achieving harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. So as we talk about and delve into the mysteries of the chakras, I'd like to hopefully set a framework so that our hearts and our minds stay open to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. This is a journey of self-discovery, healing, and spiritual awakening. Together, I'm hoping as we have this conversation that it will benefit many and help activate these powerful energy centers, allowing us to live our lives with greater purpose, joy, and inner peace, as you so rightfully described in the beginning, in the opening statement. You know, Betty, it'd be impossible to have this discussion about the clearing, alignment, and function of chakras without mentioning meditation. For meditation is the first step toward alignment with your own higher self. It is through this practice that we touch into the seat of our own true light source and are able to prepare the energetic setup for all we choose to do after. Meditation, well, maybe I should say the dedicated practice of it, not only changed my life, it saved my life. So I hope our conversation might inspire others to connect with their inner light regularly and to recognize the divine energy that flows through every aspect of our being. How it saved my life, I might relate to or talk about or describe in this recording, or maybe in the following. We have a part 1 and part 2, as I saw, of the chakra conversation that we're having, where we talk about these lower chakras to begin with, the ones in our physical body, and then maybe go into a higher conversation about the higher chakras that extend beyond that.
Well, Robin, my joy is understanding our energetic bodies and how we connect to Source. So I'm looking forward to what you have to share.
Thanks. Well, I feel that it's so important to point out the vital role that these energy centers play in our bodies and in all things, in all regards in our life, not only within the human body, but in maintaining our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The concept of chakras originates from ancient Indian traditions and is widely used in various spiritual and healing practices to this day. In fact, a lot of corporations, a lot of businesses, it's really come into more of the mainstream as well, into people's regular lives. One of these practices is chakra toning. Now, this is a practice that involves using sound vibrations to balance and harmonize the energy centers. This can help release blockages, promote healing, and enhance our overall well-being.
So you've explained that the chakras are energy centers, but just where are they located and how do we connect with them?
Well, honestly, there's a myriad of chakras. Okay, so I'm glad that you asked that question. But the ones that we'll be focusing on today are energy centers located along the spine, all right, within our bodies. From the base at the bottom, the root of the spine, to the crown of the head. You may want to refer to the diagrams that were included in the mailing for this event, because there are a few of them listed in there. And if you can't retrieve those right away because you may be watching this and following us on YouTube, there are lots and lots of chakra diagrams and images. If you just Google them, you're probably going to find a lot of those that can help you visualize this process. There are 7 main chakras, each associated with specific physical, emotional, and spiritual functions. So let's talk about the 7 main ones that we're concerned with for today. The first of those being the root chakra. Okay, now its location is at the base of the spine. Its color is red. It is of the element of earth. Okay, so it grounds us to the earth, being the lowest at the base of the spine. Its function is grounding and survival, that fight or flight instinct that most of us have. It's associated with the basic needs of security, stability, and physical health. If this chakra were imbalanced, it would display symptoms of perhaps fear, anxiety, instability, and sometimes physical issues like lower back pain is one example. The next chakra up from the root chakra would be the sacral chakra. Now this is located above the root chakra, and it is just below the navel. Okay, if you were to look at that from the front instead of the back. Its color is orange, its element is water, its function, its creativity and sexuality. It's associated with emotions, pleasure, relationships, and creativity. When this chakra displays an imbalance, the symptoms may be emotional instability, sexual dysfunction, lack of creativity, and lower abdominal issues. Now, coming up to the third, which is the solar plexus, its location is upper abdomen above the navel. The color of this chakra is yellow. Its element is fire. The function is personal power and confidence, ergo the element fire. That personal confidence and power, a power center, associated with self-esteem, willpower, and personal identity. The imbalanced symptoms of this chakra would be, like lack of control, low self-esteem, digestive issues, and fatigue is a big one. So within the physical body, these 3 chakras might be considered lower chakras, the delineation being on the solar plexus and the heart chakra. So you've got your lower 3 chakras. When you come to the heart, that starts with your upper 3. And then, of course, there's the crown. So we're gonna cover those in just a second. But I felt it was important to talk about these being having a delineation within the physical body, just as your outer levels around the body also have delineations in physical and spiritual levels or higher levels of existence. So now we go into the heart chakra, which is the fourth, and its location, of course, is center of the chest. The color of it is green. Nice, beautiful, healing color. Its element is air. Its function is love and compassion, of course. Associated with relationships, empathy, and emotional balance. When this chakra is displaying symptoms of imbalance, it can be loneliness or difficulty in relationships, even jealousy. And then also for the physical body, it can be heart and lung issues that correspond with an imbalance in this chakra. So really important to, as we're going to discuss here later, how to keep all of these chakras nice and healthy and balanced and functioning properly. The fifth one is the throat chakra. And of course, the location is the throat. The color of this chakra is blue. It's a very beautiful, vivid blue. The throat chakra, as many of you who know me, is really like my favorite chakra because its element is ether or space, which is really, really interesting. Its function is communication and expression. There you go. Now, those of you know me, that's exactly why it's my favorite. It also helps us to do these beautiful discussions that Betty and I are doing with all of you. It's associated with self-expression, truth, and communication. Symptoms of imbalance are, for this chakra, difficulty expressing oneself, throat issues, and communication problems. So it's a really beautiful chakra. Third eye chakra, this is your sixth chakra. The location of this one, the third eye, is just as it sounds, so like you have three eyes. It's located between the eyebrows. The color is indigo, which is like a deep purpley blue or bluish purple, depending upon what school of training you come from. The element for this chakra is light. Function of it is intuition and insight. It is associated with intuition, perception, and spiritual awareness. So this third eye is really kind of the first point where we start to be able to gain a correlation or a relationship with what I would call spiritual light dimensions that we start to envision them or imagine them or see them within what we call our third eye chakra. Imbalanced symptoms of this chakra would be lack of intuition or confusion, headaches, and possibly vision problems. The next one, and this is a beauty, this is called the crown chakra. And it's just as it sounds, the crown chakra's location is on the top of your head. The color is violet in some schools of thought, or white in others. Its element is thought. Function of this chakra is spiritual connection and enlightenment. It is associated with higher consciousness, spiritual growth, and connection to the divine. When this chakra is out of balance, the signs might be spiritual disconnection, not feeling like you're getting anything, or you're disconnected from everything meaningful, a lack of purpose, and sometimes issues with the nervous system. And of course, there are many, many more chakras in our energetic body systems. But for now, these are the basic ones that we're going to talk about and deal with today. because they're located in the body.
Robin, these energy centers are obviously very important to the well-being of each of us in our everyday lives. And in my healing work, I've come to know that it's possible for those to go out of balance. What are some of the ways this might happen, and what can we do to bring them back into balance and strength?
Well, that's a really good question. Yes, and it's most certainly possible for these to go out of balance, and it does happen, as you obviously know. But there's absolutely ways that we can correct these imbalances. There are lots of ways that we can correct it. First, let's talk about the things that can throw them out of balance, all right? Because I think this is really important. There's no right or wrong here. You and I were discussing in our rehearsal of this conversation that I think a lot of people carry a lot of shame or guilt or judgment on themselves for times that we feel disconnected or we feel like we've allowed things to overpower us or be cut off from stuff. It's like, what am I doing wrong, right? But we're all humans, and we're living in a human life and a human world. And, or I should say we're all part human anyway, and living in a human world. And we do have these things that come upon us, you know, that feel very, very real, and that we have to each of us deal with all the time as we go about being human. And I'm using air quotes right now, so everybody knows what I'm doing today. So here are some of the things that we can do to repair them. So first, chakras correspond to different aspects of our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Okay, they're power centers, they're energy centers. They're kind of like a space within us that goes, you know, that settles in and gives us peace and strength. What we're drawing on, even though we may not consciously realize that we're calling to them and drawing on them all the time. They're also strengthening the walls, if you will, of our physical, emotional, and spiritual self, because as they move and as they spin, and as they're healthier, they really give us a nice, I want to say protection, but it's really not a protection, maybe kind of a interface with the world that's strong and is healthy and clear and can interpret energies better for us. You know, as we take things in and as situations come upon us, we're able to translate those things in a much healthier and better and stronger way. So one of the things, when they're out of balance, here are some of the common factors that might disrupt the harmony of our chakras. The first one is stress, of course, and anxiety. Okay, everybody knows what those are. And these if you have prolonged periods of stress and anxiety, it can cause actually blockages or imbalances in these chakras that are functioning within our bodies, our body systems, particularly the root and the heart chakras, leading to feelings of insecurity and emotional turmoil. So when these get out of alignment, you know, as one chakra goes out of alignment, it can affect others as well. Because when you have something go wrong in your system, it you know, like if you have something go wrong, you know, as a healer, as a body worker, something happens in your ankle, you're working on somebody's foot or their ankle, it kind of is connected to maybe your shoulder or your lungs or a place in your throat or headaches or your balance, or it could throw off other places. If you have a place in your hip where you're out, or your leg or your knee, it can throw your whole skeletal system out. The same thing goes on with your chakras. That's why this is such an important conversation to have and for people to be aware of, because we take care of so many other things, but we really don't know much about these energy systems that are going on within us. And we don't certainly think about them as often as we really should. And that means we really should be thinking about them every day and balancing them with our breath, with meditation, with all the things we're going to talk about here. So that's the first thing. Stress, anxiety, they can really, really have an effect on these. The second one is negative emotions, okay? You and I were talking earlier. You made a comment about how you thought, what was it you said about thoughts?
Right. Yeah, right thoughts, right words, right actions.
Yeah. And so negative thoughts and emotions, of course, harboring these negative emotions such as anger, jealousy, or resentment, those can disrupt the flow of energy within the chakras, especially the solar plexus and the heart. So the solar plexus being that stomach area, where you go, where you just know when you're really upset or sick about something. And the heart chakra, affecting our self-esteem and relationships. Now I'm just going to say something because it just came up to me, but I don't know how many times I have been so aware of this because I'm a real emotional bodied person, like nobody knows that, right? And I am so triggered by energies. I can sense them ever since I was tiny little girl. Every shift, every nuance, and a shift in energies I pick up. And I pick it up in my solar plexus. It's like if everything is at peace and centered and in harmony in my world, then my stomach, my solar plexus is like, I'm totally relaxed and everything is good. But boy, if I have an argument, if there's just an energy that's out of sync in my life, I know it. I feel it right there. And when people talk about, that gut feeling, go with your gut, that kind of thing, this is another way for you to understand how significant that particular chakra is. And it also hurts us in our heart, right? Because that's a feeling. That's how you take if somebody hurts you, if somebody says something, if you see something horrible, you're going to feel it in your stomach, but you're also going to be heartbroken. So these are kind of ways that we put all these things together, and it kind of makes sense, when we're talking about energies. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was just going to mention that one of the practices I have is if I have a decision to make, I think about it and where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my solar plexus or do I feel it in my heart? And that helps me make a choice.
Oh, I see. That's a good way of looking at it too. So, are you differentiating between the two? What is your gauge on that? What is it telling you?
It's just telling me that if I feel like if I have like, okay, do I want to do this or do I want to do this? Or is this right for me or is this not right for me? It's like, if this is right for me, where do I feel it? And if I feel like butterflies in my solar plexus, in my gut, it's like, well, that may not be the right thing for me then. And if I feel a warm feeling in my heart, it's like, oh, thank you. Yes, that would be the way I want to go.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. That's very cool. I like that. So there you go. There's something you can all use. Number 3, another one would be physical health issues. So we all experience these too if we're in a physical body. I'm sure all of us have. Illness, injuries, poor lifestyle choices can affect the chakras too. For instance, a blocked throat chakra may manifest as communication problems or throat-related ailments. Those, again, I've told you that that's my favorite chakra, right? The throat chakra. Well, it's also been the one that I most suffer ailments from too. Sore throat, strep throat, all this from the time I was little. That's my weak place. It's also my strong place. I've had all kinds of experiences in life with that too. So next one. Yeah, balance, exactly. Yeah, keeping them balanced. And I can sometimes be a wild child, kind of crazy. I get all over the place sometimes. So now that I'm more conscious and older and wiser, of course, I don't do that so much. But when I was younger, I was like, I go rogue a lot. Number 4, Another way to throw us off balance is unhealthy relationships. Oh boy, this is a big one. And probably most of us have had experiences with this too. Toxic or unbalanced relationships can impact the sacral and heart chakras, leading to emotional instability and difficulties in forming healthy connections. So again, this is a real big one. Super, super important to pay attention to and make sure that our chakras are nice and balanced and good, especially those forming relationships. Because that kind of plays into every relationship, our relationship not just with people, but it can be relationships to everything in life, the environment, to the elemental kingdoms, to just everything we do in our entire life. Relationship is a big one. The next one is lack of spiritual practices. And we kind of hinted at that a little while ago, alluded to the importance of making sure that these small things, these fundamental and foundational practices that we all kind of learn in the beginning, and at some point as we get older, we think we're too big and bad for those kind of things anymore. We don't really need them so much. So we might do one here, we might do, another there, but we're not very consistent sometimes with these things. So ignoring spiritual practices or neglecting self-care can cause imbalances in the higher chakras, such as the third eye and the crown chakras. Now, the significance of those, of course, is where they're located, right? Leading to a sense of disconnection from one's higher self or purpose. So you've got the crown chakras and third eye, your third eye, which is like your first stage of insight, intuitiveness, perception, vision, inner vision, the higher visions. All of those things, when they're out of balance or cut off or blocked, really keep us from being able to access our highest wisdom and knowing. And that, of course, is what kind of guides us and leads us through all of life, hopefully. At least that's what we're hoping you all want out there. The next one would be, another one would be environmental factors. So exposure to negative environments or energies, whether you're at home, and we sure have a lot of that right now, don't we, in the world? There's a lot of negative energies and stuff going around out there. Whether you're at home, work, or in social settings, these can influence the balance of the chakras, particularly the root and the sacral chakras. So do you have any comments or any other questions or things you want to add here, Betty?
As we're talking about this, it just seems so important to be centered and have balance and have strong chakras. And I know you've got some ideas on how to clear some of the challenges that come into our chakras, as you have just expressed some of these imbalances. And so I'm looking forward to what you have to say about that.
Oh, you're so sweet how you always say you're looking forward to me talking.
Well, you've got a lot
and
to
I
share.
do appreciate it.
And this is such an important topic, because I was thinking, as you were just sharing the imbalances, how we think about how contagious certain diseases are. Well, I look at energy hygiene of the energy that are contagious, that just being in the world that we're in and being around the fears that some people have or the experiences that create that, it's like we can take that on, and it blocks, it clogs up our chakras, and we don't want that, because we want them to be clear and strong. So,
oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's true. So true. That's very, very, very good point. Maintaining a balanced chakra system involves addressing, right, these factors through practices like the meditation, like we spoke, energy healing, self-reflection. That's a really biggie. None of us like to do that. And nurturing positive relationships, etc. So when our chakras are in harmony, we can achieve a more balanced and fulfilling life. Of course, I'd like to share with you a practice. Now, this is something that you and I talked about a couple times, and I love this little practice. I'm not going to do an entire meditation because I think I'm going to include one in this recording for you that we did some time ago, but it's very good, and I think you'll all enjoy it. But I will offer this suggestion in this way of clearing the chakras for you because I found it to be really, really powerful. But I also, aside from being an emotional body, I have a lot of inner vision. So I don't see, but I know see. And I imagine this very well. It works good for me. So I want to say up front, though, the reason that I think this can be really useful is it's a simple, direct practice, and it doesn't require any other tool outside, sound device, anything like that. So you don't need toning outside. You don't need any of the things that we're going to talk about here later. You can do this with just yourself in the quiet and with visualization, and it's really, really powerful. It also strengthens the power of our inner vision, perception, and capabilities. These direct practices of working with oneself cannot be underestimated or undervalued. So the practice that I use is dropping, if you want to picture liquid light. Okay, so I'll start with each of the chakras. I know that most people will work with the bottom up. So we'll start with the root chakra, which is that red chakra, and it's at the base of the spine. And I would just, after being settled and being centered as much as I could and listening to my breath, getting really, really still within myself and dropping my energies down into myself and then down into the earth. Sometimes I will start with that chakra that's down in the earth, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're just going to start with the ones in the body, the root chakra. And at that chakra, I take the liquid light, and you can just envision it as a big teardrop, okay, or something dropping into a pool of light or liquid. And I drop it into the center of that chakra, and it's the red chakra. And then I just watch that chakra move and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin faster and faster and faster and faster until it starts to spin that liquid light, blend it, merge with it, and the chakra turns bright, bright, bright red. So the reason that you do this is sometimes, and in the second conversation that we have, we're going to talk a lot about some of the varying degrees and shades, shadings, colors that can come upon the chakras, that dim them, that indicate other things in the chakra color. That's why you would spin the light into it, is to clear it out, to clean it out, to brighten it up, to get it healed and lifted, and the vibration coming up, coming up, coming up, and the darkness and the dinginess and anything weighing it down or holding it back go out. So it's a real clearing out, a purging, if you will, of the chakra, transforming, transmuting it. And then you would move to the next chakra. So you go into the sacral chakra, and that color is orange. And you're going to go and drop a beautiful, beautiful, bright white teardrop, just a drop, into the center of that orange. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to just see it start to spin. And in the meantime, the root chakra just continues to spin, right? It just continues to spin and get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and more powerful and open and awake and balanced. And the orange chakra, the Sacral chakra is doing the same thing. It's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And sometimes it takes some focus. It will take you a moment to really concentrate, focus on each of those chakras individually as you're dropping this liquid light into each of these chakras, just knowing that it will purify that chakra. It will lift anything that is not supposed to be there, is not serving you out of that, anything that's creating blocks or imbalances within that chakra. Intention is always a good way to go into these practices by saying what you hope to achieve. Sometimes I'll go into each chakra and say that as I begin with each one of them. It takes some time, and I think this is where people lose their patience because they want, we're all so used to like instant gratification, instant everything is so quick. The internet's quick. We want quick practices. We want, really fast things. But I hate to tell you this, until you get really, really practiced at these things, at the foundational inner work, and really get them down and get them set, until you get all of these inner centers, energy centers, power centers, balance, all your bodies, everything up, centered, working, balanced, you probably won't be able to just acknowledge that they're done miraculously. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that the body has to acclimate to it is a truth, okay? Now, there are some minds that are powerful and strong enough to just say, I'm going to just say it's done and it's done. You can get there after some understanding and working and moving and motivating and getting them balanced within your physical body. You have to move through the physical, and as you bring the vibration of your body and your frequencies up higher and higher and higher and higher, then eventually you will reach a point where you can just acknowledge that it's done. For example, when I worked with this, I worked with it for, from probably 88 or 89 to about, 1994 or 5, probably consistently every single day. And I finally got to a point where I could say chakras align, balance, and spin. And I would just know because I'd been through the process so many times. Now, what I will give you, and I'm going rogue here, I'm going off the subject, so Betty's probably looking all over the place to see where we are in this conversation. It's important to note that was a time where our energies and the vibrations of even the planet, of where we were in our evolutionary process, consciously, physically, and otherwise, was at a much lower vibration and rate. So things were a little bit harder and did take a little bit longer to process. So it is possible that once you start working with these things, you can move much, much more quickly than that happened for me. So I totally put that in there as a possibility, a potential, and probably even a probability for almost all of you. But here is how you do it. And I would encourage you, at least in the beginning, so that your higher self and all of your energies and all of the levels of your light know that you're serious about working with them, that you actually do take the time and sit down and honor the process and really do the work, really work with it. Because it is building a relationship. It is building your new bodies. In other words, your new energy bodies, your new way of being in the world. So I'll just leave that there. That's enough said for now.
Well, that's great, Robin, because I'm getting out of this that, first of all, it's a beautiful practice. I'm visualizing it. And second of all, it's just putting into effect intention with action, which goes hand in hand with all of these keys. that everything is to help us learn how to grow into our potential.
Yeah, thank you. That is well said. And again, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but there's also, I've noticed in working through a lot of these things, these modalities myself, as I was awakening, there is a difference. When we are assisted by things outside of ourselves, whether it's sound or it's physical or it's vibration or it's touch or it's, I found them to be incredibly impactful to the physical. I don't know if this is going to make any sense to most of you because this is a little bit higher thinking, but when I do those practices, which require strength in my inner visualization, strength within my commitment, strength within the silence, consistency in the agreement of communion with my inner light, with your inner vision, with your inner knowing and inner wisdom, it hits me and it touches in the inner world of me. Does this make any sense to you, what I'm saying? There's it's more adapted to, I feel and I experience the higher light in me, not just my physical self or my body or the body vibrations. Now, I'm not trying to say that's not important, because the body is certainly important. We need the host. That is absolutely important. But there's kind of a difference in the types of practices and tools, the ways that you do them. So some of them tend to affect more what I call the outer extremities of me, even though they may touch, because it's a tone or it's a frequency, it triggers or touches something. But when I do a practice that is completely, like with meditation, is completely introspective, I experience it differently. And it feels like it's more for the light or the spirit or the soul within me that is experiencing it. I don't know if there's any other way I could describe that, but just pay attention to those things. That's why I say when you have honored and sacred relationship with each of these practices, you're going to notice a lot of things. If you have a lot of sound going on, like lots of music and lots of outer tones, because as soon as you hear a tone, it takes you in a direction, you know what I'm saying? It kind of steers you, or it touches a part in you, and that's where you go. But when you're just isolated and quiet and experiencing all internally without any external anything, the experience is very different. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, I think you explained that really beautifully, because it's taking us into that higher space of understanding. It's an activation for our bodies, for our higher selves, to connect with that. Because I have learned modalities that have, you learn this, you go step by step by step, but that's not really integrating or getting to the place that you just explained. It's not that it doesn't work, but if we're going to be working on our connection to Source through our higher self, then what you just explained is really powerful and beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I was just hoping that might make some sense. I've never, ever said that before or explained it in that way before, because it just really, truly occurred to me because we're dissecting this. And obviously, when I get things like that, I'm meant to this was the time to kind of interject that and point that out. So it's not to say that one is better than or right or the other's wrong. That's not what we're saying here at all. It's simply that they're to notice the differences too, the subtleties of your practices, of your inner reverent interactions and relationship with the light itself, which is what you are. So, okay, moving on. So now we're going to go into talking about the practices outside of us, that can really stimulate and help to set, because I did start with chakra toning, and it was really powerful for me. And it was like a digital or computerized tone that this woman used to use, and this, again, was back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So that was kind of when I started doing these things. And it was very effective. It would open them up and get them, really toned in and focused. Chakra toning uses specific sounds and vibrations to balance and align the chakras. Toning can be done through chanting, singing bowls, tuning forks, and other sound healing instruments. And I find that these are super great, and especially if there's, when you go into a practice, if there's some place that you're trying to access, like a specific dimension, a specific level, frequency, open up, portals or access to something. These are super effective and really great. And I'm remembering now too a point that I wanted to offer also in the chakra toning. When I first began that, it was in coordination or coupled with a process that was called awareness release technique at the time for me. And that was, we would do the chakra toning first, and that would set all your chakras. And this is why it's so important to talk about this subject, because the chakras being balanced and toned and focused and shaken opened our psychic visions, opened our psychic gifts and abilities, okay? And I shouldn't even say psychic, all our gifts. I mean, whatever it is, we were able to see energies, thought forms, colors and lights, auras, people, other beings. It was different for every person, but we would practice using this. We would open up the chakras. It would just expand them and shake them and wake them up in a profound way. And then we would sit, we put a person up against a white wall. We would sit there and we would wait for the experiences and the visions to come. And you would start to see and feel and experience, see doorways. We'd see portals open. We'd see, shafts of light. All kinds of things would start to happen. But I noticed that was a really powerful moment, a practice that started to trigger the awakening of a lot of other gifts, inner gifts that, we all have, that has really stayed with me even to this day. So I never had them before because it would just really refocus you, right, on something. That's why I say, and I do forget, because these discussions, these conversations on these topics seem to be very basic and very mundane to most people. They go, oh, yeah, I know about chakras, blah, blah, blah. But they're really, really the key, the root, the most powerful thing of our awakening. It's really, really a strong connection point. So anyway, I know I get carried away about those things, but it was so exciting when it happened. I mean, everybody was just so empowered by the process. It's just really beautiful. And what was the other thing I wanted to say? So because the chakras have been described as vortexes, They are actually these energy vortexes within your own physical body, almost like some scientists describe that we may have a black hole, that maybe even our galaxy is a black hole. I don't know. But it's kind of like that. You just never know what lies in there, what you're going to open up. And all these gifts came crawling out. It was just so wonderful. So having said that, because they're vortices, I've had a lot of people ask me if this is a really interesting question, if there's a particular direction, that they move in. Do they spin one way or do they spin the other? And I can't really tell you in absolute what the answer to that is. My search, investigation of this through all of these different cultures has really come out telling me that the direction in which each of these chakras spins can vary depending upon different traditions and teachings, your own setup in your own vibrational body. But a common belief is that, for the most part, is that chakras spin in a clockwise direction. Okay, now, in our world, in our earth, in the universe, everything, but not everything does spin in a clockwise. We're discovering that there are planets and other things, stars and stuff that spin the other way. So this is fascinating to me when we talk about chakras being vortices in our own body. Of course, the inner body of us being a universe itself. But anyway, the basic consensus is they're supposed to spin clockwise direction when they're balanced and healthy. It's important to note that some teachings suggest that they may do differently, and even they might be different even for men and women. So that was interesting, I thought, too. They can change their direction based on various factors such as energy flow and personal development. Again, that relates to, where a person is in their entire alignment. Like if you have a lot of chakras that are out of balance, then it's possible the out of balance is the spinning in reverse. I don't know, but that's kind of how I see it. The key is to focus on balancing and harmonizing the chakras through practices like meditation, chakra toning, and energy healing. And you'll know, even though it may not be literally what they're doing, if your intention is that what you're doing is balancing them, brightening them, raising the frequency, clearing them out, getting rid of, whatever negative stuff lies in the field of that particular chakra or in that vortex, then you're bringing it into alignment, into healing. Does that make any sense?
It does. I know one of the philosophies that I've been exposed to is that it's like breathing, that the chakras spin so fast that they spin in a direction to release discordant energies, and then they go into a different direction to absorb the prana, the pure prana.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's just one of the philosophies that I've been exposed to. And in my mind, it made sense until I'm exposed to something different.
Well, yeah, that's beautiful. I haven't studied that. I know you and I have just begun talking about it. You've been teaching me a lot of things about pranic energy and how that's looked at. That's very interesting. So, yeah.
And one of the most important philosophies in that is the clearing. And the clearing takes place. You're doing such a fabulous job of explaining how the balance comes from having the health of the chakra. And I know the toning is one thing, and I know there's some other things. So please tell us.
Oh, there's so much. All of them affect it. So we find out that we're probably just like a beautiful instrument, like a wind instrument of some kind, where if you block the holes, it makes a different sound, or you stimulate them, or you open up the holes, it makes a different sound. I'm sure that that's a little bit how this works. So we talked about chakra toning. The next one would be, that comes to my mind, is mantras. So mantras is another type of process that we can use. These can be quite powerful. Now, a mantra is like a sound or a word or a repeated sentence or statement, but it's always sound sort of tone related, and it's like sung or spoken. And there may be other ways to do it too. I'm not real fluent in all of those things, but these can be quite powerful. Each chakra is associated with a specific sound or mantra. That's how you do chakra toning. There's a frequency, there's a tone, there's a sound, so a mantra, of course, if we made a sound that we said over and over and over and over, that would also give you the same effect, perhaps. And then, of course, I have, written down the sounds for the root chakra, which is I think it's Lam, the sacral chakra Vam, and then solar plexus chakra Ram, heart chakra Yam, throat chakra Ham, third eye chakra Om, and of course most of you hear that, right? Third eye Om, or Om, but this one is O-M, so it is Om. And crown chakra silence, or Ah, Ah, Ah. And those are said to open up these certain centers or connect with them and get them wide open. So a lot of people use those, and you'll see that a lot in the Indian nations where they use that a lot.
So all frequencies?
Yeah, all frequencies. There is a benefit now to using the mantras if we wanted to look into that, and chanting the mantras can help clear blockages. So if you do the mantra enough, I'm not super big on mantras, but I do understand sounds, and I will go into things like that more often. But I have used mantras in certain situations to move DNA. So I just wanted to offer this because the few times that I have worked with mantras, it was quite powerful, chanting them and using sounds from your voice. These, of course, when I used them, were channeled. They weren't actually written or practiced by people. But this experience that I had with this, using toning with the voice, was so powerful in coordinating the opening and the movement of chakras and the awakening and reworking of the DNA. Now, I know that is part of the heading, and that will be a greater part of our second conversation, how exactly chakras are connected to our DNA and to the higher chakras, how it affects it, how it can open up strands of it, how we can actually move them and work with them and realign our chakras and DNA. So we've come into a state of I want to call it arrival, but it's like an evolutionary advancement where we're beginning to become quite proficient at affecting a lot of our physical self, from our genes to our DNA to sectioning off things, and I know science has as well. So we've got, again, the physical level, and you've got your spirit light level, where when you get in touch with that, you have the power to, through thought and intention, affect the things at the physical level. So it's quite exciting. But I have had experiences with that mantra work. Do you have any other things profound, beautiful offerings you might want to make here? Because you're so good at this subject. I know you're really excited about it.
Well, I'm just looking forward to more of your experiences, to learning more of your experiences to help to understand the whole pathways
Oh,
so another
Me too.
conversation, right?
Another conversation. But while we're still continuing with this one, I wanted to also throw in, because these are really fun. I used tinctures a lot when I was younger, and I didn't get much of the singing bowls. That came later, and so I wasn't as familiar with those, but here we are. Another method of balancing of the singing bowls or the crystal bowls or whatever it is that you use, Tibetan singing bowls and tinctures. So tinctures are bell chimes, and they're held on a rope, and there's like a bell on either side of it. And they can produce quite interesting sounds themselves that resonate with the chakras. When you use singing bowls, each bowl is tuned to a specific frequency. So you have to have a lot of them to do that. Again, I go simple, right? I'm a pure person, so the tinctures are right up my alley. It's just like they're right together. When you have singing bowls, you got to have a lot of them, and it's pretty coordinated. You know, you got to do the spinning with the stick, and it's quite beautiful. It really is powerful. But it's quite an experience. So each bowl with the singing bowls is tuned to a specific frequency that corresponds to a particular chakra. Crystal singing bowls made from quartz crystal, these bowls are also, they also produce sounds that align with the chakras. So you have different types of bowls. Now, as I've gotten older, I've noticed they have brass ones, you have metal ones, there are wood ones, and you have crystal. So I guess you can probably produce sounds with any kind of element that you fashion them out of, really, and get even glass. You know, how you use glasses to play songs and stuff. I'm sure that you can even produce it that way. And oftentimes these crystal bowls are used in sound healing sessions, so they're quite beneficial. And what are some of the benefits of it? The vibrations from the singing bowls can help release the tensions that we carry, balance energies, and promote relaxation and healing, or great health. So there is a new dimension of digital toning now that has surged in popularity over the past several years as well. This is on the internet, right? So you can Google anything on, and it's the hertz span of sound or digital noise. There's so many of those, and I don't claim to know much at all about any of those. I have used some of them. I've been interested in them, but I don't know a lot about the actual way it's produced. So that might be something that some of you might find really, really interesting. And there are just probably unlimited videos on YouTube and on the internet for you to go search and find. Is there something you want to say?
Well, I understand that some of these tones just feel really good and you know it's the right thing, but I've also heard that some of the tones may not feel so good to you, but that may be the tone that's helpful.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. And like I said, I mean, I think if you're going to work with this stuff, maybe I should have, made this a caveat at the beginning. I've had my own experiences, but I own my own responsibility for those experiences, right? And if you're going to go and, maybe a good warning would be if you're going to use something online, maybe you want to know a little bit about this kind of stuff before you kind of play in it too much, because we don't always know without diagnosis what's good for us and what's not good for us, right? So we're really not sure always about, there are ways to test that, ways to check it, and we can come upon that, lots of times by going through classes or having someone teach us, about what exactly is going on, or having someone read our bodies, or doing pendulum, doing muscle testing your own guidance about whether something, like you said, feels right, or is this something I should go into. So there's lots of those kind of instructive keys too. which we talked about when we talked about channeling and some of the other ways to be able to get guidance and be clear, body signals, know the kind of things that are offering themselves to you. I'm sure, and that was my first thought when I saw the wide array of offerings on the internet is, I start putting some kind of tone or thing into my body. How do I know what I'm putting in there? You know what I mean? So look around. Ask yourself, and I trust the audience, for all of you to do your homework and to be responsible, because I know that none of you want to do anything that haphazard either or damaging to yourself. And that, again, is another reason I always advocate for the simple, go within, use the light, call on the highest, and do that practice and see how that feels. Get yourself up nice and strong and know and be validated that the balance is there, that you haven't let something in. It's kind of like doing hypnosis, There's nothing wrong with doing that as long as you know who's doing it to you, right? And where they're going with it, and you're trusting them, because you can miss a line, or but all experiences are experiences. So your recovery from that is probably a learning process too. I'm really open to this journey, the whole thing. It's just be smart about it. That's all. Use your wisdom and your inner guidance. You all know how to do that. So that was a very good point that you just made. Thank you for that. We always forget to do those little protection things. The next one is chakra tuning forks. Now, I haven't had experiences with those. Those are really cool. And again, those are done like, tuning pianos. So this kind of stuff is I would say, very advantageous. Crystal singing bowls, all of that stuff. When you have these tones, it's like hearing a beautiful melody, or these are correctional. I've seen them used to open up chakras. I've seen them to clear them. I've seen them to balance certain healing or health conditions in your body. They're really quite fascinating. So these forks are specifically designed to resonate with the frequencies of the chakras again. They can be used by striking the fork and placing it near the chakra or on the body. Your benefits are tuning forks can help to restore balance, clear blockages, and enhance the flow of energy within these chakras. The methods of chakra toning can be powerful tools for balancing and harmonizing all of our energy centers and promoting overall well-being and spiritual growth. And as you were saying in the very beginning, I think one of the biggest benefits is health, is just overall vibrant health, because you're centered and happy and healthy and clear and powerful. And those are all really good things. So when we get into our next conversation, we'll be discussing what we call the higher chakras, and I'm just going to touch on those really quickly here with just this to say. While the 7 main chakras are the most commonly discussed ones that we've considered today, Betty, there are additional chakras that we've talked about and alluded to that are believed to exist outside this basic system. Now, it really isn't outside, it's all part of it, but it would be outside the body system. So these chakras are often referred to as transpersonal, or dealing with states of consciousness that are beyond the limits of personal identity. Okay, what we see as you, me, all of you out there. Or the subtle chakras, and are thought to extend beyond the physical body. The 8th through the 18th chakras, now, and there are more than that. I think there's an unlimited, actually, number, but the only ones that I've been sort of bumping into is what I'm going to say, encountering in the research that I've been doing. is the 8th through the 18th chakras, and they're often referred to as transpersonal or higher chakras. You'll hear that word a lot, or often, the higher chakras. These chakras are believed to exist beyond the physical body, and they're associated with higher states of consciousness, spiritual evolution, and deeper connections with the universe. While their influence is more spiritual and metaphysical, they can also have an impact on your physical well-being through the holistic integration of mind, body, and spirit. So, you and I have talked at length about a future conversation with this into the higher chakras, and you've been so excited, just like a little kid, you know, with your feet just going, ah.
I want that now.
I know. We're looking forward to doing that, and I'm not sure what's going to happen or come from that, but it's going to be fun, and we'll be surprised right along with you. So I think that is kind of what we'll have to look forward to then.
Well, Robin, thanks so much. There's so much information here for us to ponder, and I know I'll be listening to this many times just because every time I listen, I usually get different nuances that I didn't get the first time or the second.
Oh.
So thanks to everyone for joining us in our journey of our chakras and chakra toning and all these other experiences that we can enjoy. And I'm so looking forward to our next chakra conversation. So thank you, Robin, for sharing this time with all of us and for your beautiful insights and contributions.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
And for all of anybody listening, if you would like to know more or would like to set up a session with Robin to go deeper into your own story and origin, please go to www.embracingsource.com. Embracing Source is all one word. And go to services page to browse all the services Robin has to offer. And thank you all for joining us in our conversations. Blessings to all.
I want you all to find a really comfortable place, which you've probably already done, that you've had to sit there and listen to me yet. And I want you to take a really deep breath. Breathe in. And when you breathe out, I want you to take your breath and I want you to bring it way deep into the heart of the earth. Breathe in again, and as you do, bring that breath into your heart, into the thymus. Breathe out into the earth. Another deep breath, and this time when you exhale, breathe it into your heart. Take another deep breath, and this time I want you to breathe again into the heart of the earth, deep into her. Very nice. Take another breath, and I just want you to breathe for just a moment or two until you can feel your root chakra just drop right into the center of the earth. Good. Good. That was perfect. Just be with that for a second. I want you to notice how much tension and stress has left your body. And it's fine. Don't be concerned about what she's going to do with it or how she's going to deal with your stress. Believe me, she knows what to do with it. If you have any questions, just see that energy that you've just released to her as light. Nice. There you go. Feel the tension leave your spine and your back. We welcome all of you here today. And in this next breath, I want you to understand that we have acknowledged the presence of the Masters and the Lords of Light. That those light beings, masters, guides, and teachers and councils of light have gathered with us for this work today. For they enjoy tremendously watching us participate in this with them. So take another deep breath, and as you do, I want you to breathe your energy now up into your higher levels, all the way to your high self. Take another deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe that into your heart. Breathe into your high self. Breathe out into your heart. Very nice. That movement was so much easier. And I want you now to picture yourself standing before the Great Pyramid. Some of you have already arrived there and have been awaiting the rest of us. So we greet one another with hugs and kisses on the forehead of affection. For you are truly family. You are the ones who have journeyed through space and time after time, to do this work. We gather together in this place, in this time, in this space, on this plane, in this now, in the highest love. And when you are ready, we get to task and we enter the pyramid, filing down the great halls. Weaving our way into the center, the heart, the vast and amazing center of this great pyramid. Remember, there is no longer a separation in the king and queen's chamber, so don't concern yourself with that. And as we file into the great chamber, you notice that our chairs are positioned, or stools, or thrones, however you perceive your specific seat in this great hall, that they are positioned and waiting for you. Please do not sit on them yet, but do go and find your seat. Again, it will have a respective color, something that speaks to you. Please find it and stand beside the chair. Take another deep breath. breathing in the love and the light and the peace of this place. The familiarity with its hues, its vibration. Breathe again, and I want you to be aware of the multitudes that have filed in after us and are finding their respective places in this great hall as well. Very nice. Breathe out into the heart. And with each breath, you feel more peaceful and more expansive and more anchored. In the stillness of this place, we take another deep breath, and as we do, we breathe in the expanse and connect to each and every heart in this room. Very good. Breathe deeply and out. Feel the love, feel the absolute expansiveness, limitlessness, wholeness, joy, of the oneness that you feel in this space. That each and every heart who has come to be with us today is joining with us in purpose, in intention, in wisdom, and love. And so it is. And now I want you, with absolute intent, to step in front of your chair or stool and sit with intention. Very good. Breathe deeply. And as you breathe out, breathe your energy and your light and your breath into the center of this circle. And with the next breath, I want you to take your attention now to your source, to that amazing, beautiful, shining gold light far, far outside the point of this pyramid. Put your attention there now and breathe. Seeing this great solar disk descend in a pillar of light streaming in through the apex of this beautiful golden pyramid. Down through the center of this room, down into the center of this circle, this beautiful gathering of hearts, and deep, deep into the heart, the center of the Mother, of the earth herself. Very nice. And with each of your breaths, you continue to invoke this pillar as it streams forth into this pyramid, lighting, raising, transforming, all in its vision. Breathe. And you can feel that this light is now permeating your heart. This beautiful, collective, expansive, loving heart that is one, here and now. Take your attention now, and I want you to rise from your stool and walk into this pillar of light. Do so now. And as you do, you are lifted in this light. You feel yourself as light. There is no weight to you. There is no form to you. You just simply are. You are this heart. You are love. You are light. Just be with this for a moment. Take your attention and see yourself now rising to the top of this pyramid. Up into the apex of it, into the very point and beyond. Moving outside in this beautiful pillar of light now, ascending above the very point of this grand and glorious structure. Just be there now. The color that you begin to see is an aqua blue, and it's expansive. It's everywhere around you. And there is an explosion of gold that infuses this color now. Creating a space for you in this now that has all of the elements and the qualities of what we call the aqua aura crystal. Hold yourself in this space and in this light and in this stream. Feel the energy of this color in your bodies, in your mind, in your breath. Be fed by it, for it is raising you. Very good. Very good. Oh, you guys are wonderful. So good. Remember that you are a vast and limitless being. that your heart embraces everything. Very nice. Take another deep breath, gentle ones. Feel the peace in this place, suspended in time and space. I want you to bring your attention again to the pillar of light that is streaming forth from the source that you are in. And I want you now, in your collective self, to turn out from that pillar and step just outside of its light, facing out. Breathe and step. Very good. Your back should be now to this pillar of light. Good. In these next few moments, I want you to take a very deep breath, and what we're going to do is with our exhaling, we're going to breathe the source light out into all of creation. So I want you to take a breath now. And exhale. Continue to breathe and exhale. See this light go out into the universe. There's no sound. There's nothing except the sound of your breath. As you breathe this light out into all of creation, you are bringing forth the Creator's divine intention. You are creating a space for all things, for everything possible, for all potential. Breathe. You are breathing love and light into this space, setting the vibration, the tone, and the foundation for new creation, for new life, for that which you desire. Breathe. Very good. You are creating space to weave forth a new world. Very nice. Don't lose yourself in this light. It's very easy. I can feel myself being pulled. Just continue to breathe and keep your intention and your focus in breathing out the light of Source. This is a plane that vibrationally can hold a higher expression of light. In this plane, you are creating all of the energies and alignments necessary for the gates to open, to bring forth heaven on earth. Breathe. Very nice. In this plane now, I'm going to leave you for just a moment so that you can be with the thoughts or the visions or the images or the dreams that are coming to you. Just be with them for a moment. I want you to take another deep breath, please. And when you exhale, I want you to turn and face the pillar again. Step into the light now. And you can feel the difference, the shift in the vibration. Hold yourself. If you're feeling a little wobbly, breathe. Very nice, very nice. And you can feel yourself begin to descend in this light. Easy, very gently. Continue breathing. Very nice. Until you're floating again. Feel the floating. Good. Very nice, very nice. Coming to the tip of the apex. Just see yourself pass right through it. Descending. Good. Your head now below the apex of the pyramid. Descending in the pillar. You have help now. Some of the angels have got your feet. I can feel them pulling on the energies. Hang on. Easy, easy. Don't come in too fast. Keep breathing. You can see the aqua blue. It's beginning to take on more of a golden hue again. Coming back, getting very close to the floor. I know, and very, very gently now, set your feet on the floor below you. Standing in this pillar still. We're going to wait until the color shifts from the blue-green to the gold again. Breathe, gentle ones. You did so well. Breathe. Good. Good. I'm waiting for the gold. Everybody breathe deeply and feel your feet below you. Good. There you go. There you go. Take another deep breath, and when you exhale, I want you to turn now and step out of the pillar. Turn and step out. Just stand there for a moment, please. Very nice. Easy. I want you to walk over now and sit on your stool. Very good. Just feel the seat beneath you for a moment. Continue breathing. Feel the presence of those around you. Your heart still one. And breathing. In the oneness of this heart, we bring in the thoughts of those around this beautiful planet who are enduring so much, who are experiencing so many difficulties, so many shifts, so many challenges. Please bring their hearts and their lights into the center. Very good. Gentle hearts, hold them there and shower them with your love. We do not pity them, we honor them. We do not feel sorry for them. We give them our compassion. We lend them our strength. Very good. We honor them in this moment and those who have crossed over before them. Who are now gathered with us in light to heal, to transform, to support. Beautiful. Feel them. Be aware that they are becoming strengthened with your love and your intention. And thank them for the journeys that they have chosen to walk. For we are all one. Ah, very nice. Ah, beautiful. And I want you to see them glowing in this beautiful golden light. And breathe. And release them. Very good. In this next moment now, take a breath, and I want you to pull your energies back into your own heart. Not so easy anymore, knowing that at certain levels you will stay connected. Ouch. Breathe out. There you go. I want you to begin to start to feel some parameters and definition of your own physical form again. There you go. Breathe out. Very nice. I want you to begin to feel the chair underneath you. Feel it underneath you. And in the next few moments, I want you to take a very deep breath, and I want you to open your eyes. When you're ready, I want you now to take a breath, open your eyes, and see yourself in this grand pyramid. As you come back into this grand pyramid, I want you to breathe. And stand. And begin to move, walking around, moving around, coming back into your body. And when you're ready, begin to file now out of this grand hall. Very nice. Moving quickly now outside of the pyramid. Into the light of day and fresh air. Coming back, coming back. When you're ready, I want you to rejoin us in this here and this now. Come back, fully present. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Oh my goodness. Have I got everybody back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They made me rush out of there actually because I was having trouble getting you guys back here. I was having trouble getting back here. Oh my goodness. I felt this disconnect, so wanted to make sure that you guys were okay. Everybody breathing, and you're with me. Move around, move your body. If you have to, you can take your fingers and snap them by your ears. That usually helps.
Okay.
Helps ground you a bit. Oh my